Alright guys, Thor is still kicking ass and taking no names, and Loki might have just made a crucial mistake that destroys his plans. Welcome back to Keepin' It Comic, and today we are diving into the Mortal Thor issue number 3. Now this starts off with Donald Blake, and just a small recap for those who don't know who this is. He was originally created by Odin as the mortal identity of Thor, meant to teach the god of thunder humility while living among humans. But over the years, the false identity gained its own consciousness, a broken man who realized he was nothing more than a tool of the gods. Now, twisted by rage and power stolen from the world serpent, Donald Blake has become something far darker than Thor ever was, a fallen reflection of the thunder god himself. But look, Blake starts off with this creepy ooze coming from his eyes saying, "Look into my eyes, and I will tell you the secret of the gods. The gods have always been, whether humanity remembers them or not. The gods have always walked among us. Gods of thunder, gods of story, gods of knowledge, and, of course, the god of lies. The soulless one, the serpent. And why have there always been gods? Why will there always be gods? For the mortals who need them. Because deep down, you all need an angry god, a ruthless king, a stern father, a strong hand on your neck to control your disordered lives. Deep down, you will always kneel. Well, am I lying? You see all his henchmen. No, father." He continues, "Good, you're all good boys. You're all strong sons, son of the serpent." And he's interrupted, "Father," in which he responds, "Yes, boy, daddy's home." And I don't know if this man thought he was Usher or what, but that line did not hit the way I think he thought it would. But anyway, he continues, "Are you done doing your chores?" And his henchman responds, "Yes, father. Thank you, father." Male over 6 feet, blonde hair, shoulder length, actively seeking construction work, likely under the table. In the 2 weeks since the Rough House incident, we've tracked 6 individuals with that description in the New York City area. Blake says, "And their names?" And he responds, "Only 2 full names corroborated so far. Connor Dawson, Michael Antonoff. For the rest, we have the surname, Kaminsky, the first name, Justin, Sigurd, and..." Blake's like, "Stop, Sigurd Jarlson, who's currently knocked out because who's having a business meeting at 1 a.m. in the morning?" But anyway, we hear some inner thoughts during this dream that he's having that says, "Sigurd Jarlson, who are you?" And we can see he's still dreaming about those brutal attacks he was doing. And then he says, "And what makes you do the things that you do? What spirit possesses you?" And I think here he actually gets a response from his inner self as Thor, who says, "I am dead, Sigurd Jarlson. I am dead, and you are not me. You have nothing of mine. It is winter now, and all I was is buried under the snow. All but one thing. There is wrong, Sigurd. And where there is wrong, you break the sky to right it. For that is who you are. That is who we are." And of course, Sigurd wakes up from that and he's just like, "It was just a nightmare. Pull yourself together, Sigurd. You have a job interview." So Sigurd gets to this job interview, of course, in construction. And this chick's like, "My uncle used to talk to me about a Jarlson who worked for him. Always thought he might be Spider-Man or Beta Ray Bill or somebody. You ain't Spider-Man, are you?" And he's like, "I do not think I would fit his clothes." She's like, "Me neither. Spidey's a scrawny cuss. But anyway, I could use another good iron worker. But if you're not trained for that, I got nothing for you. Still, if you are, and if you got the certification and filled out the I-9, all the paperwork ready, I could maybe start you today." And he's like, "I do have the training. I know. I have done that work before and done it well. But the paperwork? I'm sorry. It seems I've wasted your..." And before he can finish that, he sees Loki at the window. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Loki responds, "I'm not here. Go back to your interview and look in your bag before you say anything stupid, I mean." And she's like, "Wasted my what?" And he pulls out the application and he's like, "How?" He's like, "My American is not so good. I meant to say that it seems I have the papers all here, somehow." So look, our boy's on the job looking fresh. And someone's like, "Huh? The new guy's a natural up there. Another guy says, never seen anyone with a head for heights like it. Though, what's with the leather cuffs on his wrist? Another person says, yeah. Is it like a heavy metal thing or? And Mr. Pristy's like, he said he picked them up from a thrift store. Extra safety measures. He clips his beater on his wrist with the length of cord when he uses it. And that guy's like, wait, that thing in his bag was his beater? That little hammer he's got. He drives pens in with that? I don't know, Jen. I know you need a shorter handle up there, but that's short. How's he get a good two-hand swing? And from her facial expression, she's in love. Cause she's like, he does it. One hand, boys. And just then, they're surrounded. The serpents show up and the guy's like, I don't know what you weirdos got on your heads, but it sure ain't a regulation hard hat. This is a job site, not a fancy dress party. Get going before I call the cops. And they're like, witnesses. Lethal force. Father said, no, not this time. Tranquilize only. And the guy's like, holy, pshum. And everyone's unconscious. And the serpent continues, except for Jolson. Jolson, we kill. And while Seagard and the rest of the crew up top are having a talk, one of them's like, 1 second, Tommy. I'm seeing some kind of commotion down there. And as he looks down, he's like, what the hell is... And keep in mind, they just see these weird guys with guns. They don't know they're tranquilizers. So they see everyone getting shot. Then all of a sudden, they aim to the people in the rafters. Now keep in mind too, they're not supposed to be killing anyone. But when you're falling from that height, I'm pretty sure some of these people are dying. But anyway, Sigard's like, no! And as the serpents are still aiming at people, they end up shooting at someone in a machine. He's like, oh geez, oh boy, oh geez. And then he's hit. Sigard's like, the girder. Josh, get down. See what I did there? Arnold C. Garnator. But anyway, just then, the serpents are like activating gravity souls. And these fools start climbing the wall. I don't even want to say climbing. They are walking the wall. And then Josh gets hit and falls. A serpent says, that was the last potential witness. Another says, good. Switch to the lethal poison. The papers will say the stress of the event led to a fatal cardiac arrest. A tragedy in the midst of a robbery. Nothing more. And if we know anything about this look from the last 2 issues, we know our boy is about to go ham. A serpent is like, no one will know Jolson was the true target. And we see him attaching that cord to his hammer and fastening to his straps. And he even puts his hard hat on his fist. And he has the look that he's ready for action. And then he jumps down with his hammer and shield in hand. Serpent's like, what? And Sigurd throws his hammer. It wraps around one of the girders, and he drop kicks one of the serpents. Now all of them are actively shooting at him. But he's like, nah, I got my hard hat Captain America great shield. And he throws his hammer again, smashes one of the serpents in the face, returns his hammer back to him. And then he smashes another one right into the stomach, and another one right into the head. At this point, the people across the street are like, hey, police, something's happening at the construction site. There are people on the ground. I think they're hurt. You gotta do something. One of the serpents is like, you're making this difficult, Mr. Jolson. I mean, you're trying to kill him. Why would he make it easy? Another one surrounds him and he goes, very difficult indeed. And he fires. Sigard moves right out the way and he shoots his own partner. Now he's like, where? And as he looks over, he's like, no. And Sigard's hanging and he's winding that hammer up. And the officers are down below now investigating and they're like, what the hell happened here? And just then, that serpent comes crashing down into the cruiser. And while Sigard's hanging, he's like, uh-oh. Just then, Kristen gets a call. She's like, hello? Sigard? And of course she's with Loki. And she's like, you're where? They what? One phone call. Just stay where you are. I'm heading down there with a lawyer. Don't say a word, okay? And Loki's like, well, that's not good. And then you see panic on his face as a voice says, no, it is not. And he says, oh, crap. And the voice continues, if you wanted to remain hidden, you should not have used your magic on those mortal papers, Loki. That required knowledge. Knowledge I do not have. And knowledge I do not have, I seek out. And we see who it is. It is friggin' Odin. And he continues, "So satisfy my curiosity, Scold. Tell your father Odin what exactly you were up to this time, and pray I enjoy the tale." Oh man, this was a great, crazy, brutal, fantastic issue. We have Thor who's dreaming and somehow, I think, getting some of his memory back, or at least talking to his inner Thor self, which makes me wonder, how long is it going to take for him to become Thor again? Is simply remembering going to be enough to rewrite history all over again? And that fight scene was incredible. They got this man looking like Sigurd Wick, and they already killed his dog and stole his car. And the Odin reveal was phenomenal. I'm curious to what part he's gonna have to play in this. Look, I need you guys to drop your thoughts in the comments, because is Odin about to ruin Loki's plans? Or is Loki about to fool his father once again? And hey, if you've been rocking with these breakdowns, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and check out keepinitcomic.com. That's where you can grab our latest merch and join our new Kick memberships, where both of the tiers give you exclusive perks and discounts. We're even offering authenticated signed merch with our Kick Elite, so don't forget to take a look. And don't forget to hype this video using YouTube's new hype feature. It helps push our content to more comic fans just like you. And as always, thanks for kicking it with Keepin' It Comic. I'll catch y'all on the next one.